Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Compact Everyday Carry and Gadgets. And today we're going to be talking about the top 5 downsides of carrying subcompact to micro size pistols. Now, the reason I wanted to do this video is because my channel is based around these firearms: micro, subcompact, and compact pistols. And there is things to consider before you dive in and say, okay, that's what I'm going to everyday carry. For a consistent everyday carry setup, I want a micro size. So this is why I wanted to do this video, because like I said, there is things to consider. There is some downsides. Of course, there's lots of upsides, but today we're going to be discussing the downsides. On this table, I have some micro size and subcompact pistols. I was going to also put some compact ones, but now the compact ones are a little more comfortable and some of these things might not apply to those. Right now, the things I'm going to discuss definitely apply to the ones that you're going to see on this table. Number one, usually less round capacity. Now, I know now with the technology and the way they're building these things now, they're starting to equal out these things and balance out the round capacity. So the comparison of a fuller frame firearm to a smaller one now is not such a big difference as far as round capacity goes, but previously it was a big difference. For example, right here you have the Bodyguard 2.0. The Bodyguard 2.0 with this little extended mag right here, you have 12 plus 1. With the flat mag, you get 10 plus 1, which is still a solid round capacity and is a tiny firearm, but the round capacity compares very well to a bigger size handgun. So this is 12 plus 1 in this tiny one. So this is what I mean by nowadays those things are starting to balance out a little, but it wasn't the case always. For example, right here we have the Car CW380, and this is the one gun I always said I wish I could love because I love the way it feels. I feel like the size is perfect, but for some reason I did buy this one used and it wasn't too reliable. But let's not get off topic. This one in its time was real nice, but right here you have 6-round magazine in the Car CW380. So yeah, you get the size that you want to be able to conceal, but you don't get the round capacity. Same here with the DB9 Gen 4. Beautiful size. If you want something that's deep concealment, something that you could rock with you for hours and it feels like it's not even there, this is perfect. But you're going to sacrifice in round capacity. You got 6 plus 1 in this one as well. And then right here you got the Shield Gen 1 with the extended base. I think I have right here 8 plus 1. Without it is 6 plus 1, I believe, or 6 or 7 plus 1. It's been years, guys, but just so you guys could kind of get where I'm leading to, where you want the size, but you might have to sacrifice the round capacity. Number two, the smaller the firearm, most likely it's going to be way more snappier than a full-size firearm. And that, of course, makes sense. The smaller the firearm, the more you're going to feel the recoil when you pull the trigger, because it is such a powerful round. It's like an explosion contained within such a small firearm. So when you shoot it, it's going to feel way more snappy. So you will get a lot of this. So it will take a lot of practice and just control. So sometimes it's not true that, oh, a smaller gun might be good for a first-time gun owner, or maybe somebody with weaker hands, or maybe even a female, because they think the smaller, oh, I should be able to control it. Yes, you could control it in the sense that you could grip it probably good and you could put it places, but it is going to be snappier and harder to control the recoil on a smaller pistol. Number three, not as accurate from longer ranges. Obviously, another thing, when you get into micro-size pistols or even subcompact pistols, you're not getting into these things for long-distance shooting, because that is something where they're going to lack when you compare it to a fuller-size handgun that has a longer barrel. Is for sure going to be way more accurate. And on top of that, kind of connects with number two, which was you're going to be able to control the recoil more because it's not going to be as snappy. So you will be more on target with a fuller-size handgun over a micro-size handgun. These bad boys here, I think, are specifically made for close encounters, everyday carry. So don't expect perfect accuracy from longer distance. Can you achieve that? Can you get that? Of course, with practice, anything is possible, but it's going to be way harder. And like I said, that's not their focus. That's not the crowd they're trying to captivate. This is for self-defense, deep concealment, so they're not really focused on long distance. So that is one downside as well. Don't look into micro or subcompact pistols if you want to get into shooting long distance. And at the same time, for everyday carry, anything further than 5 to 10 feet, you're going to have a very hard time explaining that it was a self-defense situation. Of course, there's situations that will make it make sense, but it's going to be harder So these are focused and based for close encounters. So maybe long distance aiming and accuracy won't matter to you, but if that's what you're looking for, these aren't the ones, guys. Number 4, harder to draw than a full-size handgun, which will result in slower speeds. Now, what I mean by this is kind of subjective because, of course, practice will change anything. And the way you carry and the way you want to do it will change this. But what I mean by this, the fact that this is a way smaller grip compared to a longer and just bigger grip, for you to draw this out, if you're rocking appendix or rocking at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or wherever you want to carry a tiny firearm like this, it is a smaller grip. You got less to hold on to, less to grab onto, less to latch onto. So for you to pull out quickly, you might affect the times and the speed of that, because you got to be maybe a little more careful. You got to be more intentional with going for it wherever it's at. So this is why practice is important. Why I say practice could change a lot of this, but there's still something to consider, because I'm pretty sure you'll be quicker if you have a fuller frame with a fuller, bigger grip. You got more to grab onto. You don't got to be so precise. You could be a little, I'm not going to say sloppy, but in the case of an emergency, when adrenaline's rushing, it might be a little jittery, and you might want to go for it super quick wherever you're carrying, and it might be a little harder to find and grip onto a micro size pistol or maybe even some subcompact. So that is also something to consider. That's why I feel the Bodyguard 2.0 is special, because it is small, slim, and skinny, but the grip itself is a little longer than normal, and it kind of, you able to get a full grip on that handgun. But of course, the bigger the firearm, it'll be even better, way more mass to grab onto and to draw fast speeds. So that's another thing to consider. And the last but not least is not too many options to choose from. Now, what I mean by this, most brands, they'll give you one option, maybe two, for micro or subcompact pistols, and then the rest of their firearms are fuller frame, just bigger firearms in general. So if you want to have more options, you want to be in the market to just have more to choose from, more to pick from, then maybe micro and subcompact pistols are not the way to go. Take, for example, the Glocks. Glock will give you a Glock 42, Glock 43, and you could say the Glock 26, it is, as far as like small, but it is chunky. But then other than that, everything else is pretty big. Smith & Wesson has given you the shields, every generation, and the Bodyguard 2.0. Then everything else is, you want something small but not tiny, you would go for like a compact or a full frame. Same goes across the line for everything else. They give you usually one or two, and then the rest are all full frame. So you're not going to have as much options. Your options won't be as wide if you're like want to specifically just zone in on finding the perfect micro or subcompact pistol. You will have a smaller variety of choices and options for you. But that's it, guys. Those were the top 5 downsides to everyday carrying a micro / subcompact pistol. Let's run through it real quickly. Let me know, where do you guys fall in these, if you guys kind of agree with one of these or if I missed anything. So number 1 was usually less round capacity. Number 2, way more snappy than a full-size handgun. Number 3, not as accurate from long distances. Number 4, harder to draw than a full-size handgun, which will result in slower speeds. And number 5, not too many options to choose from. But those are my top 5 as to the downsides for micro / subcompact pistols. Like I said, let me know down in the comments if you guys think I missed any of them, or if you guys agree with what I'm saying. And if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I will try to get back to you guys ASAP. But that's it for now, guys. Compact everyday carry and gadgets. I'm out of here, guys. God bless.